For the first time in over a decade, we could be getting a January event next month from Apple to announce basically the biggest revolutionary product that Apple's announced in the longest time. Just like they announced the iPhone that revolutionized everything. Now everybody has a smartphone in their pocket. It's gonna happen again with the VR headset metaverse deal. So in this video, let's go through everything we could see at the January event, because there could be another product that could be coming, which I am gonna get into. But first, let's get into these leaks. Way back in June, Ming-Chi Kuo, one of the most reliable Apple leakers, he's been around for a very, very long time. June 7th, he said that Apple's gonna be holding a special event in January to announce the new mixed reality headset. And of course, right here, we have some of the renders that show what it could potentially look like. Of course, this is low quality. Ian Zelbo actually turned it into this super high quality leak. You can see that you have this kind of front glass panel that's all blacked out, and within here you're gonna have a bunch of cameras looking outwards, looking down everything. You have some fabric right behind it, kind of like the same mesh from the HomePod. Then from this view, you can see the bands that go around that are kind of adjustable for the head size. With the shroud, you kind of have like this antenna bar right over here, and from the side, you get another nice view with the button up here. So this is just an idea of what it's gonna look like, but it's gonna be expensive, that's for sure, especially looking at Facebook's Meta Quest Pro. But going into Ming-Chi Kuo's actual tweet from June 6th, keep in mind that was right after WWDC, which is why he came out with this leak. He believed that Apple's AR/MR headset shipping date will be postponed to the second quarter of 2023. So that is starting in April of next year, which means that we could have a January event kind of announcing it with shipments starting in April. And that of course was actually a delay, postponed compared to the market consensus of the first quarter of 23 because of all the Shanghai lockdowns and all of that other stuff. That's why he gave April as the beginning of basically the orders. You can see right here, starting pre-orders in second quarter 23 with them hitting store shelves before WWDC 2023. However, we just got some reports saying that there could be some software related issues causing this to be delayed even further until the second half of 2023. And that's actually coming from Ming-Chi Kuo. He tweeted this out on December 4th. And his latest survey indicates that the mass shipment schedule of Apple's MR headset may delay until the second half of 2023 because of software related issues, previously estimated as second quarter of 23, which of course sucks. And the mass shipment schedule of components is still likely in the first half, but then it's delayed because of some of the software issues. And of course, because of that delay, he's looking at less than 500,000 units sold in 2023 compared to the market consensus of 800,000 to 1.2 million. That's of course because it's shipping later in the year. And the final thing he says, which is very unfortunate, is that it still needs to be determined whether the media event schedule previously estimated in January 2023 will also get delayed. But usually if the time frame between the media event and the end product mass shipment is too long, it's detrimental to promotion and sales. So because of that, some people are thinking that we might not even have a January event, because if they have the event too soon, so much time's gonna pass by that people are gonna forget about the headset, and that leads to lower sales. So with that said, Shrimp Apple Pro, who is also a really good leaker, he leaked the whole dynamic island sensors on the iPhone 14 Pro. He believes that this January event could be canceled and they could just release it at WWDC 2023, which is gonna let the devs prepare their VR apps, their dev kits, and then Apple will finally ship the product in the fall. And to be completely honest, I think this makes sense because Apple announced their transition away from Intel chips at WWDC, giving all the developers time to adjust and change all of their apps and bring it over to Apple Silicon. And WWDC makes the most sense for this sort of software heavy things, just like the VR headset. Now, on top of that, Mark Gurman also gave us a new story recently saying that the AR/VR headset is approaching, but Apple has internally renamed the device's software to XROS from RealityOS, which is really, really weird. And honestly, I preferred Reality instead, like the Reality headset, RealityOS, instead of XR, which was kind of like a bad iPhone XR. But now, don't worry about the whole January event getting canceled, because there is a chance that we still have a January event for something completely different, not the VR headset, but something even bigger and more important to some people out there like myself. And that is, of course, the Mac Pro. Yes, Apple said that it should be about 2 years for their Apple Silicon transition, and if we have an event in January, that will still be around 2 years for the full transition to happen. Now, when I interviewed Mark Gurman, that was way back in July on our channel, he did say that he believes the Mac Pro is not going to be coming out this year. It's going to be delayed until 2023. So what if we have a January event where Apple releases and shows off the Mac Pro and it starts shipping maybe a couple of months later? I mean, Mark said it could even be all the way down to WWDC, but I honestly feel like the better product for WWDC would be the VR headset, so it makes sense to release the Mac Pro earlier. So either in January at this new event, or potentially maybe in March, but then you also got to think that Apple's going to be releasing some other products in March, like the new MacBook Pros, the 14 and 16 inch, and the Mac Mini in March, so it makes sense to release the Mac Pro earlier at its own dedicated event. I think it could totally be a January event. And one thing that could perfectly coincide with that is that a couple of months back in October 23rd, Mark Gurman said that Apple Silicon Mac Pro testing was ramping up. So maybe that perfectly aligns. He even said that we're going to be getting the M2 Ultra and M2 Extreme chips with options for 24 and 48 CPU cores and 76 and 152 GPU cores coming on the Mac Pro. But that's not it, because the MacRumors forum user Amethyst also gave us some really important details. Now, if you don't remember Amethyst, he actually leaked the Mac Studio and the Studio Display. He perfectly nailed that leak, so we can trust this guy. He has a friend that releases prototypes of Apple's machines like the Mac Pro. And he said that he can confirm Mark Gurman's info of the new prototype Mac Pro being based on a 24-core M2 based chip with 192 gigs of unified memory. He also said that the prototype board is gonna have the same case as we currently have, with more than one PCI Express slot. Yes, there's gonna be more, and his friend says there's gonna be 6 PCI Express slots plus, so that is a very, very good thing. There's still no RAM slots, no external RAM, still just the unified memory. And the latest Mac Pro is gonna include a very beefy SoC thermal cooler, hopefully copper, just like we have on the Mac Studio. On top of that, he also gave us details saying that the prototype machine is containing 6 PCI slots, and it recognizes an RX 6900 XT, but it's currently not working, so it might not work with external graphics third-party GPUs. But the benefit is that his friend said that if Apple wants to support third-party GPUs on the Apple Silicon Mac Pro, it can be available in just a matter of days. Apple's gonna be able to put it all together if they want to. However, he believed that the next Mac Pro GPU option can make people so satisfied that they're not even gonna ask for third-party GPU support again, because it's gonna be that good, and I believe them. So to sum all of that up, Amethyst said that the Mac Pro is still in the works with a monster chip, 6 PCI Express lanes, and all packed into the current 7.1 case, the one that we have now, which I think makes a lot of sense for such a monster computer. And he also said that there is a stage which his friends can confirm what the final product will be like, such as what happened with the Mac Studio, and when that time comes, the first thing he's gonna do is post the information here, and unfortunately, we have not had an update since October 31st, so there's a chance that this prototype could still be adjusted before the final launch. But I do think that we could totally be seeing a January event dedicated for the Mac Pro because it got delayed. It didn't come out in November like we thought it would, so hopefully January for this event for the Mac Pro. Now, if you completely disagree with me, let me know down in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video, click the circle button to subscribe for more videos like this one. Check out one of those two right over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.